All right, Pythoners. In this video, we will learn the basics of Seaborn. And I thought instead of working directly with files, let's start with a simple demo so we get our hands warmed up. So Seaborn, like math.lib, is a Python library for data visualization. It allows us to create charts or plots, if you like, that look clean and professional. Now, if you watch the earlier videos on matplotlib, then you will see this is a really nice next step. Matplotlib gave us a lot of control, but Seaborn allows us to create nice charts a lot easier. But today we will keep just everything simpler. So first I'm going to import matplotlib pyplot SPLT, so we recognize this, and I misspelled again. There we go. And then I'll import Seaborn, and I'll do it with the alias SNS. Now you might see SB, but I'm going to stick with SNS. This is what we see most out there and in documentation and other materials. Yeah, so this is the most common way of doing it. Now, one nice thing with Seaborn is that it comes with some data sets that are pre-built in to the library. So when we're starting to learn, or we just want to experiment, we don't have to create our own data sets or come up with values. So for example, I'm going to use this tips data set that they have. So SNS, and then we say load data set, and then the name is tips. So you can find all of this in the documentation, the various kinds. Now this data set that is called tips, it has some sample data from a restaurant, such as the total bill, the tip, the day, the time, and the number of people. And that's nice. So we have 5 columns without needing to create our own data first. So similar to how we've done it before, it is a good habit to inspect the data before we start plotting, and we can use a built-in method called head without having to use pandas here. It's very similar to pandas. It still uses pandas under the hood, and since we recognize that, we know what's going to happen. So we'll see the column names and the kind of values. So let me run this. We can see here. Great. See the total bill. Not sure of the currency here, but I'm going to assume dollars, and then how much they tipped, the gender, if they're smokers, which day it was dinner, and the size of their company, I guess. Nice. And let's see. Do I have to restart to do our cell so we can get this? Let's see. Nice. We don't need to restart, thank God. Then we don't need to use that one. We can just have this side by side so we can look at what happens. All right. So now we know at least the column names. We don't need to be afraid of doing typos or anything. Now we can start making a simple chart. And since I think in the last videos when we did matplotlib, we did a scatter plot, so we can make that. I think it would fit pretty good in here. So SNS scatter plot, and I like the naming they have. So it's not just scatter; it's a scatter plot. So we know it immediately. Now here we have a difference. So we don't need to pass in like X and Y in that way. So we'll see here how it looks. So data, and we pass in the tips. And X, we will need to match the name of the column. So it will be total bill. And now if you're afraid of typos, here's a benefit. You can copy this, or if you had printed it down there, you can just paste it. Or if you use the file. So it's up to you. I'm going to just see what happens if you copy here. Always good to try things. Let's see. So we get all this space, and then I control backspace. Okay, that worked good. Not bad. All right. And then we can, for the Y column, use tip. And there it did copy everything. Okay, just need to, let me see how they do it. Double click, no, first double click here, then double click here, and it does that. Cool. Let's see if it works. Tip. Okay, good. Yeah, so if we look here, now sure, we pretty good naming for the parameters, and I suppose the description is pretty good too. Of course, they don't have any here. But we can understand that for the data here, we're telling it to use the tips dataset. And if we look at the type of tips, it's a data frame. As I said, it uses pandas under the hood. So it can derive from it the columns, the rows, and all that. So we don't have to do like how we did it before for the X and Y, say total bill. So that's pretty nice, a little more straightforward. And then we see here that we're telling it to put the total bill series or column on the X-axis and the tip on the Y-axis. Pretty easy. Now let's run the cell and see what happens. Cool, pretty good. Yeah. Now, naturally, this. Remember, if we spoke in matplotlib, it needs to be comprehensible. It needs to be easy to understand. Simple English. Always think simple English. You don't know who's going to see this. Not everyone is a developer. Now, of course, we can understand maybe total underscore builder and tip, sure, but no title. But what does this really represent? So it'd be nice if you could add a title. So very easy. You will recognize pretty much the same structure. Total bill, this is tip. And then let's, I want to clean this first, and then let's run it again. All right, what happened here? Why didn't we get any data? Okay, let's see if I have to run this first, and then we have to run this one again. Nope, it just disappeared. All right, and here we make a mistake, and I'm glad I was able to show you this, and I even noticed that that wasn't the only mistake I made. I had separate cells. Wow, okay. Let's see if I can remove that. There we go. And then we do our PLT show. There we go. Let's clear this to from the beginning. I don't want to see that other one. There we go. So the hybrid approach can be hard to get used to. Perhaps it's good to do a spacing here between them. There we go. Oh, cool. I ran a debug accidentally. Let me close this. Disconnect. There we go. Back here, and let's close that so we don't get distracted. Clear again. Let's run again and make sure we're doing everything right. Perfect. So pretty easy. I mean, the chart looks pretty clean and easy to read. And look at how little code we used. I'm not saying we shouldn't use matplotlib, but it depends on your use case. It's important to learn Seaborn. But if you look at the chart, we kind of see a general pattern similar to when we observe the other data sets in the matplotlib videos. We can see here, for example, the total bill keeps getting higher. And as it becomes higher, we see that the tip often becomes higher too. It's not really a perfect straight line if you really take a look here. So yeah. So I think this is why these kind of charts are really useful, especially scatter plots. I mean, we see it allows us to understand the patterns a lot faster than, for example, if we were looking at the. All right, we don't see the data here, but if we see, let's run this cell again. Now this is just 5 rows, but if we had more, it's not that very clear. So we have to look at a few different things. We have to look at the size of the bill, the tip, and then the size of the company. But this is a simple way, pretty easy introduction to Seaborn. So I guess in conclusion, Seaborn makes nice charts with less code. And we have other types too. We could have used this tips again. Could have created a box plot, a similar structure, sending the data, which is tips, and then we need to specify what our x-axis would be. And let's see, day. That would be interesting to see actually. Let's pass in day, and then for y, we'll pass in total bill. We can compare the days. And then we can change and set another title here. Let's say, so the clear total clear. And then we can run plt show. Yeah, and then let's run save, and let's run this, and let's see how this one looks. Pretty cool. Yeah. So a lot higher on the weekends. And it's very interesting look. All right, until next time.